My full name is Bright Kojo Nipaede, but I'm popularly known on social media as Kojo Forex. I'm a full-time Forex trader. I've been trading on the Forex market for the past 11 years and I'm young and thriving. Trading, sometimes we say it's easy and other times we say it's difficult, right? So some of the successful qualities that one needs to be able to become a successful trader: first quality, I would say patience. Second quality, I would say like willing to learn. And then third, I would say, building a strong psychology, because trading is a speculative business. It can be very tough, especially if you don't know what you're about and then you get started. So patience, strong psychology, and then willing to learn. I do. Now I do it more like on a professional level, but when I got started, I was just doing it on a low scale basis. So I was basically operating and doing everything on my mobile phone. In fact, that opportunity still does exist. People can literally get set up and start trading on their mobile phone. So my first trade was on a currency pair called GBP USD. And it was just me making some small coins. Nothing big to write home about. In the year 2012. Funny enough, my best day ever hasn't been quite so long. I'd say about 2 weeks ago, barely 2 weeks ago, and it was on a gold trade, right? So in the Forex market, you're not only limited to trading currencies. In the speculative market, the derivative market, we can trade so many other commodities, so many other instruments like gold, like oil, but we trade the prices. But my most exciting or most better trade that I've taken quite recently was in XAU USD, which represents gold. And then in that single trade alone, was able to make well over 75,000 USD. But I held it for a while though. It was a new environment. If you look back in 2012, not a lot of people were even talking about Forex trading. Even in 2023, quite a handful of people still talk about trading. So imagine that my parents having taken me through university and studying accounting, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I actually also did my national service with the National Petroleum Authority. It meant that I was fully involved in the oil industry, and I also had a little bit of exposure in the military. So I was basically doing the generic jobs that every student is open to doing. And then suddenly I'm like, I'm going to venture into something totally new, something totally that is out of the reach of our normal society hearing. So I told my dad that I want to be a Forex trader. He didn't actually understand exactly what I meant. It took a while for him to, understand it. But I would say some of the initial challenge was, I would say, acceptance, and then people understanding that this is what you do. Because as a trader, sometimes you can be stuck in your room for a long time, and then nobody really knows what is going on, because it's an over-the-counter market. All you need is your mobile phone or your laptop and internet, and you can be actively involved in the market. So being that I was always in the room, people perceived that I was even doing fraud, which was very funny anyway. And then the second challenge, I would say, was funding. Cash, or I'd say like initial capital was a bit of a challenge. And then the last one was the right information. So right information in the market is very challenging. So those are like my three major challenges. So beginners usually fall in the trap of thinking, trading is risky, I don't want to lose my money. But literally every business is actually risky, and then it gets as risky as you want it. And it's not so far from trading as well. The way the trading business works is that you are accountable for any action and decision before you execute any trade decision. Imagine that, let's say you start trading, or you get introduced to the market, and then you say, okay, I have a little, let's say 10,000 Ghana cedis saved. I want to put that into my trading account and start trading. It does not mean that the moment you start trading, you're exposing the whole 10,000. Nobody's going to click your hand, or the broker, which is also a little bit technical, that we use to trade, is not going to wake up one day and then start placing the trades for you. You're going to do that by yourself. And there are avenues, or there are applications and then information out there that allows us to be able to exactly calculate how much we are willing to be exposed into the market before we make any trade decision. So what I mean is that, let's say you're 10,000, you're trying to trade the gold that I traded and made a lot of money out of, right? You can be able to assess the risk that, okay, with this gold trade, I want to expose just 1,000 cedis out of my 10,000. Or maybe 1,000 is too much for you. You can say, I want to expose 500 cities out of my 10,000. We have at ease what we call risk position sizing calculators, right? It's actually online for traders. It's not even paid for. You just Google position sizing calculator. It will tell you exactly what we call something lot size you must use for that particular trade you're looking for to be able to exactly lose $500. So with risk management, I go about it that way, that with whatever trading account or trading capital that I'm trading, I make sure that I am comfortable with exactly how much I'm exposing to the market before I trade. So that's how I manage my risk. So trading is not like a risky business as most people perceive or assume it to be. So I particularly stay glued to Bloomberg, and then I would usually also visit BBC, their website, CNN, and basically we have a website on that we traders are mostly familiar with. We call it the Forex Factory, right? So they give us information on news events and major political hurdles and basically everything that goes around globally. So I use these type of sources of information to keep myself up to date. I can't particularly depend on the local news because it does not have any tally or relation with what really, or except of course the local news is geared towards talking about what is happening on international level. Yeah. A particular challenging trade that I faced was one particular one in oil, right? So like I said, we can also trade oil. Now it was me trading like an account balance of well over 100,000 USD, and then for that day I was super hyped and thought that I was going to make extreme money out of this oil trade. I using my strategies and everything that I used to analyze the market, I felt extremely comfortable. So I intended to risk $10,000 on that trade, right? That means that out of 100,000, if that trade goes wrong, I'll probably left with a trading capital of 90,000 because I was willing to expose 10,000. But the beautiful thing is that with that 10,000 that I was willing to expose, what did I stand to gain out of that? I could have possibly made about 50,000 or even perhaps even 100,000 out of exposing the 10,000. But lo and behold, it actually did not turn out as expected. So I lost that $10,000 from that oil trade. That's like one thing that I remember because I was extremely confident and it didn't go well. Generally, if you talk about traders that I've trained so far across the globe, it's uncountable, probably ranging over, let's say, 5,000. But I've been particularly operating online for a long time, doing Zoom sessions and stuff, like using basic online platforms to train people. But the indigenous Ghanaians started calling for in-person. Kojo, we wanted to see you have an office space here. So I quite recently set this place up, which was just around, let's say, September, October, thereabout. And we've so far had about 4 sessions. We usually would have 1 session a month, right? It's a 4-month duration. So far I'd say like in total, since this academy has been in inception, we've trained about 100 people because our sittings have about 25 people for a session, and then we've trained 4 sessions. So, and all the time we have a full capacity, so 100 people. Yeah. So biggest mistake, I'd say beginners think that trading is like a get-rich-quick scheme, something they can easily get in and then flip their life around. It doesn't happen that way. So you get them put in $100, $200, they burn it, and then they start seeing all sort of stuff online. Trading is this, trading is that. So you don't want to be that beginner that's going to just put $100 and stuff like that when you don't really have strong basis or knowledge of the market. So yeah, I'd say like one of the biggest mistakes is just quickly getting excited about the information they see out there, people's wins and then gains and lifestyle, and then getting swayed by it. So you want to really take time and then learn from the reasonable sources. I'd say that it's one of progressive, and then you get busy along the line. How I put it is that the more you become strong or formidable in the force of trading, or the more you increase or grow in it, the more you become extra busy and then installing out of the chat, or your chat hours reduces. Because when I was a single man just in my small cubicle or house doing my own stuff, I didn't have any family relation. In fact, most people didn't even know that I was involved in the business of trading. So I'd wake up eat some breakfast and get stuck by the computer the whole day just speculating on the market. But as time went on, grew, and then laid some of my priorities straight in terms of wanting to get married, settle in life and all that. It has been quite challenging because you're now combining work life, travels, family and stuff like that. So my chat hours when I say chat hours, I mean time that I would usually spend solely by the computer looking for trade setup has tremendously decreased. But I try my best as possible to still squeeze out time to sit by the chat and then trade, because that's like my career. That's what I do for a living. So if I don't sit by the chat, I'm not going to be able to feed my family. So for my advice for young people who are interested in getting involved in forex trading, it's one of the most satisfying endeavor that any beginner is ever going to get themselves involved in, because it will give you that life that you would never get anywhere, right? Trading, it's like the job that gives you the real freedom, right? And then I tell people that we have 3 types of freedom, and then it's one of the occupation that give you full those 3 types of freedom. We have the financial freedom, we have the time freedom, and then we have the location freedom. Financial freedom, obviously trading is going to make you that money eventually when your skill set is on the A game. Time freedom, you can choose to do whatever you want anytime at anywhere. Nobody's going to be on you. Come to work, go do this, do that. And then location freedom, trading being that it is over the counter, you can be able to be in Ghana and trade, you can travel to South Africa and trade, you can travel to India, literally everywhere in the world, and nothing changes with your trading. So trading is that thing that gives you that full freedom. And I feel like if you want to get into trading as a beginner, this should be like your motivation. And last but not least is taking it extremely serious as a career, more than just an entertainment or something on the side. Let me just try it and see. And then looking at it from the career angle is when you're going to start seeing that it takes more than just doing it on a mobile phone and playing around, and you're going to be more serious about it. And then also seeking out right information, right? Currently I have a YouTube channel as well, quite over almost 150,000 subscribers. Also the YouTube channel name is Kojo Forex as well. You can go on there, lots of free information on how to get started in trading out there, so people can just jump on these informations and then get on the right track on the market.